patiently for what? The candle to break in. Euro USD. On Euro USD, I would like. So it's 27th of August. The month is about to end. So it's 27th of August. 27th of August, and the month is about to end. Hello? The month is about to end. So, first of all, let's try and do some chart breakdown. The pairs that we've been trading. So, today is 27th, which is what day is today? Is Tuesday, right? So, the week is too young. The week is too young. Morning. So let's first of all move to, let's check the economic calendar for the day. So on 27th of August, we have, during the lending session, you don't have any high impact news like that. So we have JPY, Euro. So they are all low impact news. You don't have high impact news. So the only high impact news will be happening around 2 p.m., which will be around the New York session. So okay, so since maybe you'll be trading during the New York session, it's fine for us to look at what's the meaning of the consumer confidence. So later in the day, maybe as you continue doing the webinar, I'll talk about the consumer confidence a little bit. So we have to, first of all, let's move to the pair we usually trade. Please, if you know your background is noisy, kindly mute yourself. If I mute you, I'm not going to unmute you again. If you know your background is noisy, you mute yourself and listen to whatever I'll be saying. So when you move to GBP USD, on the monthly time frame, so it looks like the monthly time frame is what? It's in all time high. It's bullish. It's in a bullish trend, right? It's in a bullish trend. So you, after identifying the trend, what you would do next is what? You identify your various key levels. You identify the various key levels because markets are always sensitive to react on those levels. So you have to always pay attention to those levels. So let's move to the weekly time frame. So when you move to the weekly time frame, we have a resistance over here. Okay, so currently the candle has broken through the resistance. So anytime a candle will break through a resistance, resistance becomes a support. So now the candle has broken and closed. So now this point has now, this area or this horizontal line has now turned towards a resistance. It has now turned to a resistance. You get it? It has now turned to a resistance. So when you wait, supposing maybe you are trading on the weekly time frame, we would have targeted this area. This zone would have been the area you are going to target, which is what? A clean zone. So on the weekly time frames, it kind of give us a swing move that is going to hit around 1.35. But taking this trade, your stop loss is going to be wide. Okay, your stop loss is going to be wide on the weekly time frame, which is what? 310 pips. Targeting, yeah, it will be targeting 280 pips. It's kind of, so since it is not advisable to be taking the trade on the weekly time frame, the best you can do is to move to what? The lower time frames, and you find an entry. So now you have in mind that on the weekly time frame you have what? A nice zone. You have a nice zone. Structure 2 is what? In the bullish trend. So the best thing you can do is what? To go to the lower time frames and search for an entry. That's the best you can do. So when you move to the daily time frame, price is kind of what? Heading towards a resistance. So the daily time frame is in what? An uptrend. The daily time frame is kind of in an uptrend. It moves high, retested, so we have swing high. We had a swing high over here. It's retested over here. What? And the trend is what? So the daily time frame is what? Is in a bullish trend. Okay, so when you see something of this sort, all the higher time frames are pointing up. They are all heading towards up. So there's no need for you to what? To be looking for. There's no need for you to be looking for any sell. So the daily time frame, the area or the next target will be at this point. This is the next resistance. That price might struggle to what? Break through. So we have a resistance 2 over here. We have a resistance 2 over here. Okay, we have a resistance over there. So when you move to the H4 time, so now daily is what? Weekly is an uptrend, daily is in an uptrend. So let's check what the H4, because since we are trading what? The H4 candle. Let's move to the H4 and see what the H4 structure and support and resistances are doing. So when you move to the H4 time frame, When you move to the H4 time frame, H4 trend is what? In a bullish trend. So it is what? In line with what the daily time frame is doing. I don't use trend line, but I'm just using it to what? To clarify the trend, what the market structure is doing. So it's in what? An uptrend. Okay, it's in an uptrend. So the best you can do is to look for what? A buy entry, because it is making swing lows, it is making higher highs and higher lows. So we had what? Like a key level over here pointed down. So something like this: high, higher low, high, higher low, high, higher low. It is making what? Higher highs and higher lows. So when you see something of this sort, the best thing you can do is what? Is to go for a buy. So let's move to what? Let's check. So after identifying the trend is a different thing. Getting the trend, then what? You find what? After that, getting the trend, the next thing you will do is what? Find an entry. That's the most difficult part. Okay, so getting that entry comes with what? The time of the day, your zones, your candles, your support and resistances, and those areas. You have to factor all those things into consideration in order for you to what? Take an entry. You don't just wake up because all the time frames are pointing bullish. So what? You are going to take a buy. So even though sometimes you know clearly that what? The market's in a bullish trend, but you are not going to find an entry because what? The way the market is forming, or the market structure is not in what? The market structure is not in line with the way you take entry. So something of that sort you are going to ignore. So something of this. So now if you are going to even take an entry, currently this is where price is. So there was a resistance over here. Okay, there was a resistance over here. So I'm not going to advise it's comfortable to be taking a buy. It's not comfortable to be taking a buy over this at this level. Okay, because when as price is moving up, there's going to be what? There's going to be a struggle for price to break through. So it's not advisable to be taking a buy over here, even though all the time frames are pointing up, but it's not advisable to be taking a buy at this level. Okay, it's not advisable. So you move to H1 and see whether you can get an entry. So when you move to H1 structure 2 is not clear. Okay, H1 structure is also not clear for you to even take a move. So when it comes to the H1, maybe now since the market has broken, retested what? Trend continuation. But when you check here, we have a resistances over here. So this is the H1 resistance that we had. So now price is struggling to what? To break through this zone. But since you are in volume time, you might see a break. So sometimes, so the reason why most people lose a lot, most people are not profitable in the market, they force things to happen. So the best thing you can do in trading is what? Doing things that is in your book. You have something called trading what? Playbook. So do something, execute when the trade is in your playbook. If it is not in your playbook, don't force things to. This thing is not going anywhere. You get it? This thing is not going anywhere. Just be patient with the market. Trade what you have seen before. So this thing kind of sketchy for me. I'm not going to trade. Wait for what? A textbook setup for it to happen. Then you execute. No one is pulling a gun on you. Okay, so kind of this trade is kind of sketchy for me, even though this one is what? A break rate tested, created what? A break rate tested, created a support, but the market structure over here is not clean. Okay, I want a clean setup. I don't want something that I'm going to enter. You get it? I don't want something, even though there was a clean market structure. Okay, a clean market structure, but the entry is not there. You get it? The entry is, if not this resistance, this point would have even a nice point to be. I would have even taken a buy before coming to the stream. Okay, because I saw it earlier. I would have even taken a buy, maybe go to the lower time frames and search for a buy. Okay, But the market structure is kind of, there are a lot of consolidations, even though I know it is going to point up. But as I always say, you have to always make sure you are standing on a firm ground to execute. That's the most important thing. Okay, even though I know it is going to move up, but there was no entry for me. You feel me? There was no entry for me. There was no entry for me. So I will let it go, even though I know it is going to move up, but I will let it go because of how sketchy. And we are even late. We are even late to the entry. You get it? You are even late to the entry because now price is high. If you are executing over here, your stop loss is going to be wide. Okay, so you have to let it go. That's the most important thing. Let it go. So let's move to the weekly time frame. Sorry, let's move to the another pair, which is Euro USD, and see what will happen. I think Euro USD is giving us, there's a nice market structure. It's the same thing. It's like the way GBP USD forms. It moves in accordance with how Euro USD form from my observation. So when you move to the monthly time frame on Euro USD, we had what, a resistance over here. We have a support over here. So when you move to the weekly time frame, you get it. When you move to the weekly time frame, we have a resistance over here. Okay. So I think the way the weekly is forming, it's kind of what, it's in a tighter range. It's in a tight range. So let's move to the daily time. Please, if you know your background is noisy, time frame. When you move to your monthly on the daily time frame, we have what, a support over here. We have a support over there. We have a resistance over here. That's on the daily time frame. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So on the H4 time frame, so you see the reason why you are going for a buy is what, the daily time frame. The daily time frame is what, a buy. Okay, it's in a bullish trend in the sense that it made higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, so what you are going to expect on the daily time frame. So you're expecting a trend continuation. But before you take a buy, you need to what? You need to seek for an entry. Okay, you need to go for an entry. So where is it going to be the next entry? So when you move here, you have what, the market has already created a support over here. So I'm kind of, so we have a resistance to over here at the H4 time frame. I do. You have a resistance over here. Okay. So suppose maybe if the H4 broke above this resistance, I would have taken a buy to the next zone, which is 21 pips. I would have taken a buy to the next zone. But for now, so let's move to the H1 time. So the daily time frame is what? An uptrend. H1 broke, retested, consolidated. So what are you expecting? You are expecting what? A trend to continue to the next zone. That's what you are going to expect. Okay, but it's kind of what we had a resistance at this level. Okay, we had a resistance at this level, so that is making it difficult for us to take a buy. So I think even the Euro USD structure is clear as compared to what the GBP USD. So if you are taking a buy, I think Euro USD. So Euro USD structure is better than what GBP USD, but it's also kind of, so it's also kind of what not clear like that. So let's move to the H1 time frame and see whether we will get an entry. So the H1 structure is really what rough. The structure on H1 is really rough. So if you want to see the importance, or if you want to see how strong this resistance is, you see as it moved up, it tried to break through the resistance, but price what retested it. This candle tried to break the resistance, but what sellers push it back. So this tells you how strong this zone is. You feel me? This tells you what how strong the zone is. It is trying to break through, and it has bounced back. Okay, it is trying to break through. You see how price is struggling to what break through this resistance. Price is really struggling to what to break through the resistance. So patience is the name of the game. Always make sure you are doing something, or you are taking an entry, which is what trade that you have taken it before. That's the most important thing. I always emphasize, or I always speak about this thing. Take trades that you have taken it before. Take trades that you have taken it before. So sometimes if you are doing something that is what outside your playbook, or outside the way you trade, if you are taking a trade outside the, or if you are taking a trade that you've not taken before, you can see I've experienced it before. You feel like you feel some kind of panic. You panic, you fear because of what you are not confident in the trade that you are taking. Okay, you are not confident in the trade that you are taking because you've not taken it before, because you are not familiar with how the price is going to move. So it's always best, as an advocate of what waiting for trades that you've taken before. Be comfortable when you are in position. No one is forcing you, no one is pulling a gun on you. So with this one, the way it is forming, because you have a resistance over it, so the way price is rate testing on this resistance, it gives us a signal that this point is what, even though we have a candle break which signify, or which shows what price will be candle structure has broken. Okay, it tells us, or it gives us some indication that candle structure has been broken, because as it broke at above this one, okay, candle structure has been broken. But the best way we can do, or the best thing we can do, is for us to either wait. Sometimes too, because you are in volume time, you might miss it, but it's always better for us to wait. Okay, it's always better for us to wait, because I feel like this resistance is strong. I feel like this resistance is strong. So we have to wait for, we have to wait for sometimes we waiting can cause us to what miss the trade. We waiting can cause us to miss the trade. You get it. So we are going to set an eye on this one. Okay, you are going to set an eye. So as I said, you see how price is struggling to break through unless maybe you want to be an aggressive, you want to enter it aggressively. Other than that, then you either wait for the candle to be you either wait for candle to break above. Okay, you either wait for candle to break above. And as I'm saying, sometimes you waiting can lead you to miss the trade, but it's always best for you to wait. Okay, so let's analyze gold and see what is happening. So on gold, so there's nothing for us to. So gold has gotten to a price that it has not reached before, since we started what is using gold as what a means of transaction, or gold has not gotten to that level before. So gold has really what moved very high that it has not gotten. So this is where we started. This is where gold started. Which year is that? 19? Is it 1949? That's when we started pairing gold with what? The dollar. That was 1949. So ever since, gold has not gotten to this price before. So if you are having gold, one ounce of gold is now selling at what? $2,515. Okay. 1 ounce of gold is now selling at what? 2,515. Gold has not reached this level before. Gold has not reached this level before. So what is causing gold to rise at this point? So let's move to the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, so since we are intraday traders, all these things are not the fundamentals. Are mostly we usually look at the what intraday this thing, the intraday fundamentals or the economic events. We don't usually looking at the long term, unless maybe you want to hold position for long, or unless maybe you want to hold position for long. Other than that, then if you are looking at gold, as in the long term fundamentals are not, mostly they are not important to you. You just have to look at the intraday fundamentals. That's the most important thing. Knowing the economic fundamentals is not going to make you profitable. Okay, the most important thing is what you being able to what read candles, you being able to read the price, even though some people use fundamental as in the long-term fundamentals. So as I'm saying, unless maybe you are holding the trade for long, unless maybe you are a position trader, okay, or maybe you are an investor. If you're an investor, then you have to look at the economic data, the long-term economic data for the economy, or the instrument or the asset class that you are trading. But if you are just an intraday trader, the best thing you can do is what? Just look at the short-term economic event and you are there. So on the weekly time frame, as I said, gold has gotten to the price that it has not gotten there before. So when you move to the daily time frame, we are now going to what? Identify the various support and resistances areas. So we had a resistance over here on gold. Okay, we had a resistance over there on gold. So the moment price, okay, so those on YouTube, can you hear me? If you can hear me, kindly type 1 on YouTube, in the chat box. If you can hear me, type 1 in the chat box. So when you move to the daily time frame, it has broken the dip at this point. The dip has been broken. Okay, the dip has been broken. So this, as the dip has been broken, for you to confirm the uptrend, okay, for you to confirm the uptrend, you need to wait for the tip to also be broken. You need to also wait for the tip to also be broken to confirm the uptrend move, because now after candle has broken the dip, it gives you a confirmation, or it's a signal, even though candle has not closed. So anytime that you are making a decision on whether a candle is an uptrend or a downtrend, you have to always wait for candle to close to confirm or to conclude that the market is now an uptrend or a downtrend. That's the best you can do if you want to determine the direction of the market. with an ongoing candle, it is not going to give you a strong confirmation. So the best thing you can do is always to what? Wait for candle to close above or what? A below a below a lower low or what? A higher high before it can be confirmed an uptrend or a downtrend. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself. Don't use an ongoing candle to confirm a shift in structure. It's not going to help you in any way. The best thing you can do is always wait for what? The best thing you can do is always what? Use a candle to close. Allow candle to close to what? To make a decision. So when you move to H1 time frame, so H1 time frame is currently H4 time frame is H4 time frame is currently an uptrend. Sorry. Let's move to the daily. Let's see what the daily structure. So the daily structure is what? An uptrend. It was what? Initially, it was an uptrend, high, high, low. There was a shift in structure over here. There was a shift in structure over there. Okay. To what? It turned it to what? A downtrend. But the moment price broke above this one, okay, the moment the candle broke above the resistance, it turns what? An uptrend. So currently the daily time frame is what? An uptrend. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So as I said, when you look left, there's no data or there's no price at that level. There was no price at that level to what? Confirm the movement of what? An uptrend or downtrend. So now we move to H4 time frame. So you see, now the daily time frame, what? Now the daily time frame is an uptrend. H4 time frame is now what? H4 time frame is what? A downtrend. You get it? So which is what? They are in opposite direction. You get it? Daily is what? Daily is an uptrend. H4 is what? A downtrend. You get it? So at this point, the higher time frames are inconsistent or they are what? In opposite direction to each other. You get it? So when it happens like that, what are you going to do? So when it happens like that, you have to wait for what? H4 to shift in structure or shifts in what? H4 to shift in structure to be in what? To be in alliance with what the daily time frame is doing. You get it? Unless maybe you want to take the intraday moves, okay, before you are going to focus on what? The H4 time frame. But the best thing you can do when you see something of this sort is what? Wait for what? The H4 to shift. So the reason why people will be saying all these things, this kind of way, this type of trading is what? A long term. It takes a long time for you to get a trade. So I'm going to tell you, this is the best way to trade. Okay, this is the best way to trade. This is the best way. If you get an entry when the market is behaving or when the market is forming something like that sort, you are really going to what? Succeed in the game. You are really going to get more winning trades when something of that sort happen. So it is always best to wait for what? To be waiting for these things. You get it? It is always best for you to wait when the daily, the H4 are in the same direction. That's the best way to what? That's the best way to what? Get an entry. You get it? That's the best way to get sorry, that's the best way to get more winning trades, for trades to go in your favor. So now the daily H4 is what? A downtrend. So when you move to, so there was a resistance since price has been able to break, since price has broken above this resistance. Okay, since price has broken above the resistance, there was a high confirmation that it is going to get to this level, this resistance level. So let's indicate or let's point out our resistance area. Let's point out ours. So now what? Daily is an uptrend. Okay, Daily is an uptrend. By the way, it has broken above this one. It gives us a strong convection. So it is always important to learn how to read the market. Okay. So you see there was a resistance over here, which is very sensitive. Now price has broken through the resistance. The candle has broken and closed. But this candle too has shifted. So this is where the confusion is what. Now this candle, as this candle broke above this resistance, it gives us a strong confirmation that is what it is going to move up. So we were going to expect or look forward you were going to look for an entry at the lower time frame. But here is the case. Now this candle has broken the tip of this one, and when you go through the course, I talk about what candle structure. So this candle has broken beneath the dip. Okay, this candle has broken beneath the dip, so it gives you a strong confidence. It also gives another signal that price might even come down. Okay, because it is not easy for the daily candle to be broken like that. It is not easy for the daily dip to be broken like that as compared to the H1, then the M30 time frame. So it's always important to take it into consideration. So we are kind of what? We are kind of confused over here. Even though the daily, so we have one thing you have to notice what we have candle structure and we have pattern structure. So now pattern structure is giving us an uptrend. Candle structure is giving us a downtrend on the same time frame. Okay, on the same time frame. So when you see something like this, one thing I'm going to advise you is what wait for the daily candle to close. So when the daily candle close above this one, then it is what when the daily candle close above this one and it breaks the tape, then it is what the candle structure, the candle structure and the pattern structure are in the same direction. You get it? The candle structure and the pattern structure are going to be in the same direction. But for now, it's kind of confusing. Okay, so when you see something like this, you have to stay out. You have to stay out. I always say, don't rush. Always make sure you are taking trades that you've taken it before. That's the most important thing. So when you move to H4 time frame, when you move to H4 time frame, H4 time frame 2 is also telling us a different thing. So daily is what an uptrend when it comes. So now candle structure is in alliance or is in the same direction with what market structure or pattern structure at the H4 time frame. Okay, at the H4 time frame. So at this point, what you are going to do is what? At this point, we had what? The moment this dip, okay, the moment this dip got broken, it shifted structure to what? It shifted structure to an uptrend. So what we are going to wait for what? A retracement and what? Trend continuation. But here is the case. Daily time frame is giving us different thing as compared to what? The H4 time frame. You get it? Because when you come to the H4 time frame, we have a clean zone at this point. Okay, so as I always say, if the daily and H4 are inconsistent or are not in sync with each other, you have to what move with the daily H4 time frame. So at this point, we had what a clean zone for candle to flip. So if this candle, if the ongoing candle in session break the dip of this point, we are going to expect what a continuation to this end. Okay, to fill down at H4 time frame. So let's move to H1. So H1 structure is kind of, so you see now when you check the daily is doing different thing. H4 is doing, so now H1 too is an uptrend, H4 is a downtrend, daily is an uptrend, which is kind of, so the best way you can just do is what wait for what a flip of this candle, for this candle to flip, because now it's kind of, even though it is retesting on what a strong area of interest. I always say structure supersede support and resistances. Okay, structure supersedes support and resistances. So even though it has gotten to a strong area of interest, but the best thing I will tell you is wait for the candle to break, for structure to shift, well, like something like this. Okay, something like that. So something like this, then what? You take a sell. That's the best thing I'm going to advise you to be doing. Okay, that's the best thing I'll be advising you to be doing. That's the best thing I'll be advising you to be doing. So good for now. It's kind of so you see, even on the H4 time frame, even though we know it is what, an uptrend, you get it, you know it's a downtrend, but the candle structure too has shifted towards an uptrend. Okay, so if you are trading gold, so unless you wait for this candle, the bullish candle, to also flip bearish and break this, so it's kind of sketchy over there. So you have to always be careful. Wait for what, if you are taking a sell, you wait for candle to flip, then what, but you are going to keep an eye on what it will be doing. But at this point, it's kind of not clear to take, an entry. So you have to be patient. So patience is golden in trading. So when you move to, so you see, as I said, the resistance over here was kind of strong. You see, price is what, bouncing back. Okay, price is bouncing back. So it is always important for you to, wait for what, it's always important for you to wait for, what do you call it, price to break and close, not candle insertion. I always emphasize on this one, not candle insertion. So that's what you are going to wait for. So let me check GBP USD and see. So GBP USD was kind of, the entry was clean, but as I'm saying, because of this, price has already moved, it has gotten to a resistance. So at this point, it's kind of sketchy. You get it? At this point, it's kind of sketchy. So the best thing we can do is to wait for, there's no there's no entry on what, there's no entry on GU at this point. So patience is golden. That's the most important thing. So for me, my target within a week is to get a high probability trade, one high probability trade, and I'm done for the week. In trading, less is more. Okay, in trading, less is more. That's what you have to have it in mind. If you get one high probability trade, you should be okay for the week. Okay. So it's always advisable to, wait for what, the resistance level to be broken. Okay, so as I said, if you are getting one high probability or one high quality trade within a week and you hit it hard, you should be down for the week. Trading, you are not supposed to be trading every day. Okay, so if you don't know this thing, if you're a beginner and you don't know this thing, let me advise you. That's the thing about trading. In trading, the more you involve yourself in the market, the more you expose yourself in the market, you the more you expose your capital to the market, your capital is going to be at risk. Okay, your capital is going to be at risk. So if you are getting one high quality trade within a week, that should be okay for you. That should be okay for you. And if you are getting it with one trade within a week, one trade within a week, even a month, you are taking like three trades, you should be okay. That's what is going to give you a high chances of winning in the market. Not every day trying to search an opportunity, not every day trying to search an opportunity. Trading doesn't work that way. In trading, what we esteem or we cherish quality over quantity. Okay, we cherish quality over quantity. So that's how it works in trading. So we are now waiting for we are now waiting for price to either break above this one. Okay, we are waiting for price to either break above this one. Okay, we are waiting for price to either break above this one. Then what? We target. Let me check the weekly time frame on Euro US. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, so on the daily time frame, so we can either target this point. So let me check on the Euro USD we took that GBP USD trade we took. Supposing maybe you were swinging the trade, you would have still been in the trade. Okay, so we took the buy over here, and still it hasn't gotten to the entry yet. So supposing maybe we were still still holding the trade, we would have what still be in profit. So 163 pips. Wow. So that's what you have to be going for. Okay, that's what you have to be going for. So if you get a high quality trade like that, then what? You hit it hard. It's not about always trying to search an opportunity in the market, always trying to search an opportunity in the market. The market doesn't work that way. The best way to go by this game is what? You esteem quality over quantity. Esteeming quality over quantity is the most important thing to be doing in the market. That's the most important thing you have to be doing in the market. So as I said, you see how strong those areas are. You see, price is struggling to break. Okay. And you don't want to put yourself in those positions. I always want to enter a trade where straight away I'm moving into profit. Because anytime price gets to a resistance, there are two things that is going to be involved. Either price is what going to retest and come back, or what breakout. There are two things that are involved. Okay, either it is going to break out, or it's either going to retest and bounce back. So you have to always make sure you are putting yourself in the best position to win. You are putting yourself in the best position to win in the market. So I always have visualization of the things that when I come into the market I do. So there's no stress on me as compared to those times that I don't have a trading plan. So last Sunday, the webinar that I did, I talked about trading plan. I'm not stressed out at all because I have my plans. I've written down my plans in my trading book. So if I not having plan, if you are trading and you are just taking trades randomly, you don't record your trade, you don't have any journal, you don't have any book that you are recording your trade, that means you are not going to go far in this game. So you have to have a book and you draw the pattern exactly. Okay, you draw the pattern. So for me, as I said, there was no stress in me on me because I already have the patterns that I trade. So I just see it. When I see it happening, then I take. I don't think too much as compared to someone who is not having a pattern that he trades. I don't think too much. I don't stress too much because I already have my pattern. That's what I trade. That's what you have to be doing in trading. And trading is going to be very simple. Not that you come into the market and you'll be struggling. You are going to be wondering on what to do. What to do? Should I take a buy? Should I take a sell? You'll be doing those things because you don't have a records of your past trade. So every trade, if I'm doing a back testing, mostly I used to be trading GU most of the time. Just recently that I wanted to. So when you go back, if you are doing back testing, all the trades that I've taken, I can mark it down. So when it comes here, I took a trade over here. I know exactly the points, the places that I've taken a trade. I know exactly the places that what I've taken a trade. I know exactly the trades that have been taken in the past. And I know the trades that I would have taken an advantage of. So this trade like this, the time it happened, I would have taken it over here. You get it? I know exactly the trades that have been taken. So this trade too, I missed it because of the time. It formed. It was in my trading plan exactly. You get it? So I know exactly the trades that's what I've taken in the past. So I took a trade to over here. So when you see something like that, then what? When you be when you start doing things like this, then you are just watching the patterns. Okay. So there was a trade to over here. There was a trade to over here. There was a trade over there. There was a trade. I think there was a trade to over here. And 1 2 was over here. There was a trade to over here. There was a trade to over here. So you see, I know the trades that I've taken. Oh, and sometimes I just go back and be watching how it happened. You get it? How it happened. That's the only way you are going to be successful in this game. That's the only way you are going to be successful in this game. But if you are not having any pattern, if you don't have any, like you don't have any plan, you just come to the markets randomly and expect to be winning in this game, then you are lying to yourself. And I can, as I'm telling you, most people give up in trading in their first 3 to 2 months because they are expecting the way things are going, they didn't meet their expectation. Most people are going to give up. That's normal. Okay, that's normal. Most people are going to give up, and trading is not for everyone. It's normal for people to give up because maybe the way things are moving is not moving as planned. They thought maybe they are going to hit a home run just one and they are going to be rich. It doesn't work that way. This game is what a systematic game. You have to have a plan. So that's how it works. That's how it works. So you have to have a plan. Take trades that you've seen it before. That's the only way you are going to succeed in the game. So if you have a question too, you can ask. You are waiting. You can bring it aboard and I talk about it. So it's left with 2 hours for the H4 candle to close. So we are just waiting. Let me check Euro USD. So Euro USD is what retesting on what the zone we talked about. It's just retesting on the zone we talked about. So it's always important to pay attention to those zones. Okay, it's always important to pay attention to those. So if you have a question, you can ask. So it's coming back to break the dip of this one. So when the market is kind of sketchy, if you are not seeing a clear direction, you just stay out. Okay, because the moment you try to go against what the market is doing, you will lose. That's what has been happening most of the times. That's what happens most of the times. So GU2 has retested on the level. GU2 has retested on the level. Okay. Some weeks can give you a clear opportunities that you never think of. So last week or so, Euro USD for instance, it gives out a lot of opportunities. It gives out a lot of opportunities. Yeah, that was last week. And some weeks too, the market might, because the market it was then trending very high. Okay. It was then trending very high. It was then trending very high. So it gives out a lot of opportunities. But sometimes too, it might be slow. Sometimes it might be slow. So that's how it works. So you have to always make sure you are being patient to wait for. So let's see, maybe lending open. Okay, so lending session has open. Are you going to see a massive move at the break of this one? So please, you can, those who have been asking me questions, when I'm even like when I'm even in town, this is the time for you to ask questions. Okay, the stream was designed for people to ask questions. So if you're not asking questions and you ask me during when outside, as in outside my session, please, I can't give you an answer to that, because the best way for me to answer your questions is when I'm doing it practical. Sometimes some of your questions are practical. So we are waiting for the breakout. Okay, either on H1, we are either going to wait. So the H1 kind of formed with no. So I'm expecting it formed with no what. There's no. I hope you people understand wicks. When you go through the course, I talked about wicks. Okay, so wicks are the levels that the session. Okay, maybe the lowest and the highest level that price usually reach. So I'm expecting price to. I'm expecting price to what? So as I'm saying, price is what trying to break above. Price is trying to break above what the resistance areas. So as I talked about the wicks, so the wicks are the lowest and the highest levels that price usually what get to before it will move to the original direction of the trend or the move. So anytime that the market open with what open with no wicks, there's a high chance, according to from observation, there's high chances that what it will create the wick before what it will continue to what get to the original direction of the market. That's what mostly it does. Okay, that's what mostly it does. So this one, for instance, if you are watching carefully at this candle, it looks like that wick created. Okay, that wick wasn't created. So it doesn't happen every day that it needs to create the wicks. But as in the chances of it coming down to create the wicks, we are talking of probability here. Okay, so it has a high probability or high chances that what it will come down and create a wick before it will move to the original direction. Okay, by sometime when there was high volume in the market. So volume is like maybe when the market is there was high volume, as in more people are buying and selling the same currency pair or the same asset class. Sometimes because of the volume, it won't come down to create a wick. It will just move. Okay. So as I say, trading is like a sales business. If you get profit today, you spend it wisely. Then what? You spend it wisely so you get what? A winning trade again. So it's not like every day you have to hit home run, you have to get a winning trade, how to get a win. It doesn't work like that. If you get profit today, manage it wisely, spend your money wisely. So what? You get a winning trade tomorrow. So as I'm saying, it's like it's trying to flip. It's trying to flip, but the H1 open with no bottom wick. Okay. Supposing maybe if the 9 o'clock candle is going to create something like this. Okay, if the 9 o'clock candle is going to create something like this, If the 9 o'clock candle is going to create something like this, okay, then you would have taken buy to this end. By now, you have to be patient. You have to wait. Okay, so as I'm saying, no one is pulling a gun on us for us to take something that you would take and lose. As I'm saying, the market is already in what, an uptrend. So you have to go for it. Is buy that you are going to go for, not a sell. It is a buy that you are going to go for. It is the buy that you are going to go for, because every other time frames are pointing up. Okay, other time frames are pointing up. Let me check GBP USD. Oh, cha. So as I said, okay. So one thing I've noticed about the market is, I've noticed one thing about this pair. Around four. So of late, if I see a trade setup around 4 5 something, I'll just take and I'll make sure that's for 4 a.m. 5 a.m. I'll be taking it because it usually gives an opportunity during that time. Okay. So as we came to the market, I said it might come to this end, but there's no entry. So you see, sometimes you know where exactly it will be going. You know where exactly the market will be going, but there's no entry for you. You stay out. It's normal. It is normal. Okay, it is normal. So it has moved to the side that I talked about. We came, I said it will move exactly. Okay, it's moved exactly. So one thing that's what I've noticed about this pair. That's what I've noticed about. Sometimes it usually starts moving around 5 to, so when I see a trade setup around 4 a.m. 5 a.m., I'll be taking it, especially when the setup forms around the lending session. So that's how we trade. Trading is all about observation. If you observe it and it has been repeating itself, it repeats itself, it continue repeating itself, you start executing it. Okay, so this one, for instance, I'll be taking it, like, supposing maybe, if not this resistance, I didn't want to like be involved in this, even though it has broken. Okay, it has broken, created, retested, open close. So the next candle, it has retested over here. Okay, it has retested over here, created a support. Okay, created a support. Okay, so this is one of my favorite trade setup. So when it happens like that, then you take a buy to the next target. I would have taken it, but because we had a resistance over here, you get it. I usually want to take trades in what, so it's the same thing that is forming on Euro USD. So I would have taken the buy at this point. Okay, I would have taken a buy at this point. but the market structure wasn't clean. I didn't want to involve myself in something that I'll be in consolidation for long. So I would have taken a buy. I would have taken it. So the market, as I said, it repeats itself. It repeats itself. I would have taken a buy at this point. It repeats itself exactly. Okay. It repeats itself exactly. I don't know how most of you have been observant with some of the patterns. This pattern will happen again, and I will come back and tell you about it. I will show you when we come to the chart. So the pattern repeats itself. So you have to make sure you are learning how the patterns are formed. Okay. So this is one of the things that I usually look for. But because of this resistance and the time it formed, that's why I didn't involve myself. So it's the same thing that is forming on Euro USD. The same pattern forming on Euro USD. Okay. So now one thing is maybe Euro USD during 9 o'clock. I think the way it is forming over here, it looks like what the resistance is very strong. So let's wait for the H1 candle to close and see either it will break above this one, and we see what the decision you are going to take on, because it look like it's a clear buy. Okay, it's a clear buy, but asking how to get the entry is the problem now. Getting the entry is the problem now. So we predicted exactly on GU. Okay, we predicted exactly on GU, and it has happened. It has happened exactly. Predicting the market is very easy. To predict the market is very easy, but asking getting the getting the entry is the most difficult part. And sometimes if you are not careful, you try to be an aggressive, the market might discipline you. Okay, it might discipline you. So it's always advisable to what? It's always advisable to be. It's always advisable to be waiting for things that you've seen before. Easy setup. That's what I usually look for. Easy setup. So one thing is, if you are like asking, if you are frustrated, this thing is very difficult. I bet you, if you continue doing it, when I started like this, things wasn't like this. But as time goes on, things has now become very easy for me. Okay, because I was consistent. Most people are not consistent in life. Most people are not focused in life. Today they are doing this. Tomorrow they are doing digital marketing. The following day they are doing this. The following day they are doing this. They are not consistent in what they are dealing. If you want to succeed in life, you need to be focused. Stick to one thing for long. Okay. I stick to one thing for long. That's why I'm seeing consistency now. Okay, even though sometimes it might take you long, but it's always advisable to stick to something for long. It's with time it will become very easy for you. With time, things are going to be flexible, things are going to be easy. Okay, no one started as a perfectionist, or this thing. What do you call it? No one started out on something and he became perfectionist. Is it the right English word? Perfectionist at something. It takes time. Okay, it takes time. So just be patient and stick to it for long, and it will surely pay. That's how it works. Don't so Euro USD. Euro USD. The resistance is the problem now. Should I go in for? The resistance is the problem now. Let me check the HN time frame. So you have more time for the H1 to close. You have more time for the H1 to close. Should you go in for an aggressive buy? This resistance is the problem now. Okay. This resistance is the problem now. So as I always preach, you don't have to what? Buy on a resistance and sell on a support. Even though the market structure, the trend is an uptrend, it has created a support. What are you expecting? A trend continuation. But there's a resistance. You see, like I don't know how you people are being observant. You see how price is struggling to break. Price is struggling to break. You get it? Price is struggling to break. Let me check what happened on GBP. So missing this kind of entries is it will happen every day. You will miss it every day. Okay. So as I always been preaching, you don't have to be buying on resistance and selling on support. I always talk about this thing. You don't have to be buying on resistance and selling on support. Even though it's a buy, okay, it signals a buy, but I don't want to be in a position, or I don't want to put myself in a situation where I will enter a trade in. But there was a clear distance. If not this one, I would have taken a buy without thinking twice. If not this thing, this resistance. Price is retesting on this resistance. So that is, you need to observe. Each one formed, so it has broken the tip. But one thing is the H1 formed with no bottom wick. Okay, so there's high chances that it can come back and make a retracement. There's a high chances that it can come back and make the retracement. There's a high chances that it can come back. But if the H1, let me check the M32. So the all, you see the candle all what formed with no wick at the top. Sometimes you need to be patient. You don't have to be aggressive when it comes to entry. You need to be patient. We do the same thing every day. Come in. So Euro USD, are you going to miss it, or it will give us? It will move slow for it to break. Then we take the buy. That's the. So sometimes you be in a delegate this thing. Eh, making a decision sometimes becomes very hard. You get it? Sometimes making a decision. So let's all watch how the market has been. See how it has been struggling. So you see, it tried to break. So you will see it well when you move to the lower time frame. So you see, when you move to the lower time frame, so I think around this candle formed. Okay, so this was around. So from let's start from one. This from one. So you see, it tried. All right, it breaking. It tried to break, came back. Tried to break, came back. You get it. Tried to break, came back. So we have some high chances that this one too, you get it. So even this one, it went to the extent of breaking, and it's what it came back. So what is the chances of this one too? But we are in volume time, 7 o'clock. We are in volume time. That's the issue now. Okay, is it going to? Is it going to head to this side? I don't want to take an impulse entry. You get it? I don't want to take an impulse entry. Let me check whether GU has gotten to a resistance or something. Okay, so GU has gotten to the daily resistance. So there's high chances. Okay, let me check the daily time. You check like, so it seems like the daily. Okay, it created a support. So so sometimes it's cool to miss trades, because me, I want to enter a trade that I'll be comfortable. Okay, I'll be comfortable when I'm in the trade. I don't want to enter into a trade where I'll be watching my back. Either I'm doing the right thing, I'll be asking myself plenty questions on, am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing? I don't want to be involved in such situation, or so I don't want to be in such position. Okay, I don't want to be in such position. So I've given you the all the evidence. Okay, and even this one where the wick is, okay, because this is the swing. It started from this side. This is the swing. Okay, and if it is moving, it should break the next. When you look left, it should break the next swing, the swing high. But where the swing high is very is it's at far area. Okay, it's at far area. Even though we can miss it, all right, we can miss this trade, but let's patiently wait for. Let's patiently wait for. If not this resistance, I would have executed a buy without what thinking twice. I would have, because it's in my playbook exactly. Okay, it's in my playbook exactly. But because of this resistance, so as I've showed you, the 30 minutes has retested the resistance several times. Okay, it has retested the resistance several times and have been hit back, retest it and hit back. So when, as I said, when we have high volume time, when we are in high volume time, the markets prices break support and resistances. When we are in high volume time, price breaks support and resistances. So we are in volume time, which is what lending open. That's when the institutions are transacting. That's when the banks, the big institutions are transacting. The banks are what making transactions. The what do you which people what do you call it? What are those people who participate in the forex market, the currency trading market? So the banks, the hedge funds, the big institutions, the big corporations, and those people. That is the time they are transacting. Okay, in the eurozone. And now we have partially Asian session 2, even though Asian is open at this time, but it's not all that active as compared to the time it's open. Okay, because the Asian session is about to be closing. So as in those who participate, those big transactions, those big orders has already taken place. But when it comes to the lending, when it comes to the lending and the eurozone, this is the time what the big institutions, the banks are what making transactions. So we are going to see big moves. We are going to see volume. Okay, more people are buying and selling at this time. So that's why we what decided to be trading at this time. So sometimes when there's high volume times, it doesn't it doesn't, what do you call it, support and resistances are not respected much. Okay, support and resistances are not respected much during that time. When we have high volume times, support and resistances are not respected much. So GU would have been a nice entry. Okay, I would have taken profit around this side. Are you talking to me? So you have to still wait. As in, you have to still go by your plan. So if your plan is to wait for price to break above and below support and resistance zone, because it is always best for you to wait for price to break support areas. It's always best for price to break resistance areas. That's when you are going to be at the safer side to enter the market. You get it? So even if you are in volume time, your plan is to wait for price to break. You don't. Your plan is not to trade on support and resistance zone. Your plan is not to take trade on support. What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? Your plan is not to trade on what? Your plan is not to buy on resistance. Your plan is not to sell on support. Okay. So even if you are in volume to high volume time, you still have to wait for price to give you that confirmation. Okay, you still have to wait, even though you are in volume time, unless maybe you want to be an aggressive trader before you are not going to pay heed to those levels. But if you want to be a conservative trader, so someone this thing like this, someone, even though there was a resistance over here, someone could have taken a buy at this point and target this level. Okay, and target this level. The person has accepted the risk. So trading is all about accepting the risk. If you accept the risk, you can do whatever you want. If you are not going to be pissed off when if the trade goes against you, you are going to be fine. You can still take. So this one, for instance, if I don't want to be pissed off, I would have thought I can take a buy over this side. I can take a buy. Okay. I can take a buy at this point and target this is where I'll place my stop loss. So 1 to 4 weeks through. Okay. Then you target this level. Okay. When you do it like this, you've accepted the risk. You get it? You've accepted the risk. So that's what you still have to stick to your plan. No matter the market changes, or yeah, no matter how the market is going to change, you still have to stick to your plan. You still have to stick to your plan. So this one, as I said, it's created with no, so the probability or the chances of it coming back to wake down is very high. Okay, the chances of it waking down is very high. So you have to always have to be patient and wait for the right thing to happen. Okay. I'm always comfortable when I'm doing something that I've seen in the market for some time. So let's wait and watch how the H1 is going to close. Let's wait and watch. So as I've been saying, you have a question, kindly let me know. Okay. If you have a question, kindly let me know. So if you're on YouTube too, if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat box. So we are in waiting mode. You are in waiting mode. So there's no high impact news. The only high impact news will happen around 2 p.m. Okay, so today should be a clean day. Today should be a clean day. Today should be a clean day. So you see how it is still struggling to break. Okay, it is still struggling to break. So don't put yourself in. So so whatever I'm saying is from my personal experience. So sometimes you miss a lot of trade and you get frustrated, and it will get to the point that you want to be an aggressive trader. Okay, you don't want to miss a trade. The moment you start being an aggressive, the trade will start moving against you. So you have to have a strict rule in trading. Trading is like being in the military, even though I've not been in the military before. But from what I've been hearing, you have to be disciplined. You get it? You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. Have a set rules. What are the things that you look for when you come to the market? If you don't have this thing, you are not a trader. You get it? If you are not having this thing, if you are not having this thing, you are not a trader. What are the things that you look for? Do you have an entry plan? Do you have an exit plan? These two things. Do you have the timing? Do you have a timing plan? It is very, very important in trading. These things are very, 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 very important. Your entry plan, your exit plan. So this one, for instance, if you take a buy over here and I lose, I'll just tell myself, hey boy, you didn't obey your trading plan. You fucked up. You didn't obey your trading plan. Okay. You didn't obey your trading plan. So that's how it works. That's how trading works. You need to have a systematic plan, okay, that you are going to follow. So it all comes, those systematic plans all comes you get those plans by what? Doing try and error, try and error, try and error, try and error, or by learning from someone, an experienced person telling you, don't do this, do this, don't do this. I did this and what? I lose. I lost some time past. So don't be doing it. You can try it out. When you lose it, when you lose maybe some couple of trades, then what? You stop doing those things. So all those things, those lower, I used to be trading the H1 time frame and those things. Then as I continue losing, I stop doing those things. Okay, I stop doing those things. So trading really takes a lot of time, especially if you are practicing. If you are starting it out, it takes a lot of time. It needs commitment. But the moment you figure it out, it becomes very easy and very simple for you. Okay, it become very simple for you. So as I'm saying, for me, I have a trading plan. So as I'm saying, I've seen it repeating itself within a month. I can see it repeating itself like three or what, four times within a month. So I don't have problem with waiting. I'm always patient to wait for it to happen. I'm always patient for it to wait for it to happen. Okay, I'm always patient. So that's what you have to also be doing if you really want to what, take trading to the next level. Okay. So as I'm saying, for me, for instance, for the level that I've gotten to, it is going to be very hard for me to lose like three times within a row. According to the way I trade with my system, it is going to be hard for me to lose like three times within a row. It's very hard to lose like three times in a sequence within a row, three times. It's very hard. Not that I'm bragging, but I've tested my system and what I've seen it's like happening. I've seen it working out more most of the times. So it's going to be very hard for me to lose like three times within a row. Most of the trades that I've been taking, especially if I'm taking my high probability setup, for instance, if I take my high probability setups, like waiting for the daily H1, the H4, the H1, the M13 line, it's going to be very hard. But most people are not going to be most people are not going to be disciplined to be doing those things because of the waiting matter. They think some people feel like if they are not taking trades, they feel like they are not doing anything. Trading is like how what do you call it? Is it a lion or you have this wild animal that if they are hunting, is it a lion? They will what do you call it? They will wait patiently to get a target. Is it lion or something? I've forgotten that kind of animal. They will wait patiently to get. So you have to be watching the wild animals and see how they hunt for their food. They wait patiently. It's the same thing in trading. You have to wait patiently for your system to happen. So this is not in my plan. Okay. 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 So it's the same thing to in trading. You have to wait patiently. So this one like this, the best way I would enter is when this candle breaks above this one like this. With something like this, I'm very confident. Okay. Then I'll take the next buy to the next level. To the next level. That's what maybe I'll be waiting for. But now, even though the setup has aligned, but the entry is not there. Okay, the entry is not there for me. If someone is trading the lower time frame, you have some people trade the H1. Some people trade the M5 time frames, and those people too are there. Okay, so you can practice, you can explore those areas. But the time frame I like trading, that gives me comfort when I'm taking trades, and that is the higher time frames. That's why sometimes that it's I don't usually take trades more often. So we know it is moving up, but giving us the entry is the problem. Giving us the entry is the problem. So the GBP USD moved up. So there's high chances that it is going to retrace for it to create a wick over here, the bottom wick. There's high chances that it is going to come back and create a bottom wick. There's high chances. So the whole of today, I'll be keeping an eye on Euro USD. Okay, for the buy on Euro USD, I'm keeping an eye on it. Let me see what gold is doing. So okay, so on gold, as I said earlier, if it flips, let me check. If it flips, so this one too. It's best for you to wait. You have to wait for what the H1 to close. That would be best. If you are going to wait for the H1 to close, that would be best on gold. Trading is not it's very difficult. Very difficult. Especially if you are starting out. It's very difficult. You sometimes get frustrated. You lose a lot. you, you will lose a lot and you get frustrated. But you have to be. The thing is, like it's very simple, but people are not getting the concept. Just have if I don't know how to even put it. If you win a trade, learn from the trade. Just sit down and watch what happened. Why did you take the trade? Most people are winning trades and they don't even understand why they took the trade. You get it? So if you win a trade, just sit down, watch the market like this. Just open, either you are using laptop, desktop, just watch, just sit down and watch. You move to the time frames, you watch. So sometimes I just sit and be watching. That's why the I have as in visualization of the patterns. Sometimes you just sit watch like 1 hour. You get it? Sometimes you just sit and watch. You watch the patterns. You just watch them. Okay, you just watch them as you are doing back test. You watch. You sit, watch. Why did I even take the trade? Why did I? So that's why sometimes you guys are not doing those times when I used to follow people on the internet when they win a trade. I wasn't taking signals. Sometimes they would share their trade ideas. I wasn't taking those things. When they win the trade, I would just go to the pair that they took the trade on. I will ask myself, why did the person took a buy on this trade? Why did the person take a sell on this trade? Okay, and I'll start drawing my conclusion on those things. So anytime the person will puts this thing, what do you call it? The person will put a winning trade or this is the trade I took. I will just ask myself, why did the person take a trade on this? Sometimes you see maybe the person went aggressively because the other trade that he took wasn't the same as he's taking now. You start noticing or you start like getting to note or know those things. So you have to be what? You have to be observant in trading. That's how it works. You have to be observant. It becomes very simple if you have patterns that you trade. So there are patterns in this market. So I'm sure someone is even taking a sell. The person is taking a sell because of what he has seen it's happening before. So it doesn't mean you have to also take a sell. Someone is also taking a buy at this point. Okay, the person know exactly why he's taking a buy. Someone is taking a sell, someone is taking a buy based on what they've seen in the market before. So if you have a pattern, it becomes very easy. You easily know that you easily know that this thing is not in my trading plan. You don't know some joy that it's some joy fill your heart the moment you see something happening in the market over and over again. Some joy, so you get it fills your heart. So if you can see the last trade we took in the private group, you guys can notice when Brainy asked me the H1 has broken, so can we take a buy? I told him, nah, let's wait for the H4 to close and we take a buy. And the H4 closed exactly. You get it? The H4 closed exactly. This where the H1 was, it at this level? Let me check. Yeah, that was at this level. So when the H1 closed like this, he was expecting to take a buy. I told him to wait for what? The H4 to close. So I told him, let's wait patiently for what? The H4 to close. So all these things are in my trading plan. Okay. All these things are in my trading plan. I told him exactly, let's wait for what? The H4 to close. We waited for the H4 to close. I'm very confident. I'm very sure. The trade moved. You get it? The trade moved. So these are the things that I usually wait for. When you move to the daily time frame, when you move to the daily time, daily was what? Daily was an uptrend. H4. And one thing too is what? You don't have to catch, the market moves every day. It moves massively every day. You don't have to catch all the moves in the market. You can't catch everything in the market. You get it? You can't catch all the big moves in the market. You just want a piece of the move to make a living from. That's what you have to look for. Okay. So currently the currency market, the market cap is around 7 point something trillion. You can't get all the 7 point something trillion. Okay. The market cap currently, as in the daily volume for the currency market every day, the transaction that happens is around 7 point something trillion. You can't get everything in the market. So you just want a piece of pie. You just want like 20 pips, 30 pips within a week or within a day to make a living from. So just wait patiently. Not everything is for you. Some moves are for some people. So you waited patiently. When you move to H1, you see H1 too is what? An uptrend. So these are the, when you move to M30, M30 is what? An uptrend. You get it? All the high time for daily uptrend, H4 uptrend, H1 uptrend. These are the things that you have to be looking for, not when the market is inconsistent with each other. At that point, so you took the buy over here, and it's what? It's moved and still what? Moving up. Still moving up. Get it? So these are the things that I look for. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it happens. If it happens, like to wait for, because one thing that I've noticed in the market, if you have a pattern, you have to know your pattern. So don't feel emotional when someone is trading his pattern and what is winning. You don't know what the person usually look for. So these are the things you wait for. These are the things we wait for. As I said, there's no way I'm going to blow an account at my level now, or to lose a firm, a proprietary firm, or lose an investor's money. It is going to be very hard. Very, very hard. Unless maybe I'm drunk. It's going to be very hard because my patient level is it's at its peak. Okay, I know exactly what I look for in the market. So it's going to be hard, even though it will take time for me to make money, because maybe I'll not be taking trades more often and other stuff. But surely I'm going to make it. I'm going to what? Make you money. I'm going to. So it's very hard for me to lose money now. Not lose money. Even if I lose, I'll gain it back. Okay. If I lose, I'm very confident in my skill sets. I'm very confident in my skill sets. It's very hard for me to lose investors' money, or maybe lose a pop. Even if I lose part of the money, I'm going to get it back. The market, maybe the market is just I've just deposited it in the broker's account, and they are going to give it to me back again. So that's what you have to always aim for. I'm very sure of the pattern I trade. I'm very, very sure of the pattern I trade. So it left with 6 minutes for the candle to close. So there's money to be made in this call. But if you don't know what you are doing, that's where the most difficult part comes in. Okay. I know this guy. There's this guy that I follow on IG, and this guy takes only one trade within a week. It's very, even though sometimes it takes two, but most often he takes only one trade, and the guy is making like he's making money. You get it? He's making money. It takes only one trade within a week. It takes only one trade within a week. So you don't have to be taking trades every day. That's not how the market is designed for. The way it depends on the way you trade. That one too is there. It depends on the way you trade. So now let's see how the H1 will close. You see how it is still struggling to break. It's moved up, came back, moved up, came back. The level over here is very strong. Okay, so now the way this one, according to from the timing, it's going to be very hard for it to break through. So maybe it will retest it. So what you have to wait for is a candle break. So always the only way you are going to get a confirmation is when a candle has broken. That's the only way. Okay, that's the only way to confirm a shift in structure. That's the only way. You get me? You feel me? That's the only way. Trading is boring. Trading is it's kind of boring, but that's the nature of the games. It's all about waiting. And if an impulsive person, if you have that energy, you can't be a trader because you want to always be doing something. You can't sit and be waiting, nothing is happening. It's kind of boring to some people. Okay. So that's why some people lose, because they are very impulsive in nature. If you are impulsive in nature, you can't be a trader because this game needs a lot of patience. You can't be if you are impulsive, then you have to trade like the 1 minute time frame, the 5 minute time frame. But the time frame I'm trading is for patient traders. It's for those who are patient. If you are not patient, you can't trade this time frame. Okay, you can't trade this time frame. Let me check. Let me see what gold is doing. Has it flipped bearish? Okay, it hasn't flipped yet. So if gold flip bearish and breaks this one, there's high tendency that what it is going to fall, it's going to continue down. Okay, because it has created a resistance, over here. If it breaks and close, then I'll be hoping to see gold doing something like this, even though it will be a retracement or it will be a correction at the what. Okay, so the H daily time frame too, as I said, the dip has been broken. The dip has been broken. The dip has been broken. So there's high chances that what it will continue moving down on gold. There's high chances that gold will continue moving down. But is it when it's close beneath this one? That one we can't tell for now. So it's kind of flipping. Okay, it's kind of flipping. But when it comes to gold, I stay out. Okay, I stay out. Okay, so the H1, it's left with some few minutes for the H1 to close, and it seems like the daily H42 is going to flip. Okay, it's going to flip. So it's kind of so the stop loss is going to be wide. So the H4 is flipping. So as I said, there's high chances that it might move down, fill this range, because the daily time frame, the previous candle has broken. So this gives you a signal that there's a shift in what candle structure. As I said, we have candle structure and pattern structure. So there's a shift in what candle structure. So we have some high chances. So maybe your first target can be at this level. Then you target the next level because of the H4. Because of the H4. So it will close very soon. Is it going to close with no wick or what? Okay, it's created a wick. So you wait for the bottom wick to be created. Wait for the bottom wick to be created. So it has flipped. So this is the point, it's flipped. But when it comes to gold, so the bottom wick is about to be created. So it is creating the bottom wick that I said. So it has created the bottom wick. So now it's there's high chances that it will flip. It will flip down. Let me check Euro USD. The pair I want to take a buy on it. All right. It's moving down. Well, damn. So it's moving down. It's moving down. It's moving down. So you see how strong the area is. So now the best way we can do, or the best thing we can wait for, okay, the best thing we can wait for, our advice, we wait for the H4 candle to switch. We wait for the H4 candle to switch. Okay, so at this point, there's nothing to. You are going to wait for the H4 candle to close. So you see, anything that I've been talking about since we started the stream has been happening. You get it? It has been happening. So we weren't impulsive. We waited for it. As I'm like saying, since it has tested it for several times, it gives us a confirmation that this area is very strong. Okay, this area is very strong, so we need to wait for the candle to what, to break above. That's the most important thing we can wait for. So at this point, we are going to wait for the H4 candle, which is left with 56 minutes for it to close. And I'm not sure, I have something to attend to, but I'll make sure I'll be keeping an eye on the pair in case it presents an opportunity. Then I'll take the buy. Okay, then I'll take the buy. But at this point, so that if the 30 minutes, if the 30-minute flips like this, if the 30 minutes flips like that, then we take a buy. That will be a breakout on the 30-minute time frame. But it's also a breakout at the higher time frame. It's also a breakout at the higher time frame. So we are going to wait for the break. Okay, so the M30 will do a break. It's a break and retest at the M30 time frame, but it's a breakout at what, the H4 time frame. So we are going to wait. So assuming maybe we made an impulsive decision, we took a buy over here, you would have been in a drawdown. Okay, so you have to wait for, so we are going to wait for the H4, which is left with 55 minutes for it to close. When it closes, then we make a decision. Okay, when it closes, then we make a decision. So you people can be keeping an eye on it. Euro USD, you can be keeping an eye on it for the buy. Okay, I'll also be keeping an eye on it. So if anything, those in the private group, I'll update you. Then we take a buy together. Okay, and take a buy together. So at this point, I have something to attend to. So let's call it a day. See you guys tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Bye. So on YouTube, thank you all for streaming. Thank you all for joining today's live stream. See you guys tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Bye.